Welcome in, Not Move Podcast. It's your boy Jimmy with another episode of the Scrap Sheet. I'm joined by my main man, Zip Zap, Boombox, the one and only.
Hey
How you
Jimmy, how you doing, man?
doing? Great, man. Doing great. We gotta be waking up bright and early for these fights
Yes,
here in a couple
sir.
of hours, man. But I mean, the Australian people deserve it for a fight to be on their time. They always gotta, you know, compensate for us. So it's about we gotta compensate for them sometimes, and that's how it is sometimes. And 4 a.m. It's gonna be a early night for us, but we here to break it down. We get here to give you the picks of what's going on.
Well, you
Oswell.
know what?
Oh
Well,
yeah,
you know what, Jimmy? You know what, Jimmy? You're absolutely right. Typically, Australia has a great crowd down there. They're really receptive to the fighters. They're really respectful to the fighters, and it's a great card, man. So, you know what? We got to be a bit accommodating, but it's definitely going to be worth it.
yes sir, yes sir. Going quick review of last week, man. What I'll tell you, man. The dogs was out and barking. What did I say? Clean sweep on the card, except for there was one dog that lost, and that was Luan Martinetti. He just kind of got outdogged in that fight. He just didn't look ready, but the dogs ran the card, man. McConaughey, dub. Jocelyn Edwards, dub. Aljamain Sterling, don't know how he was a dog, dub. Like Rafa Garcia, all these guys won their fights in pretty much dominating fashion. Well, it was a back and forth fight for most of them, but the third round decision came down for a lot of them. And a lot of the dogs just gritted hard and pulled out the win. Uh, Only really one knockout, or not too many finishes on the card. Just a couple of hard fought fights. Ryan Spann was able to get the knockout like I thought he would. Buchecha is just not UFC level. I don't think he just kind of came in too late, man. He's a jiu-jitsu world champ, but he's just not. He's a white belt in MMA, man. That's what he calls himself. That's what he is. But
You know, you and I, as we were going through the card last week, before we even got to the end, we noticed that we were taking a lot of the underdogs. So,
mhm.
typically, whenever you have a lot of underdogs winning, you're not going to see a lot of stoppages. Typically they just tend to grind out their victories, and that's what we saw a lot of. So, as we make our picks this week, we'll see if that's a trend that continues, or will we see a lot of stoppages?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think we'll see a couple on this card. Fight news wise, I think they've announced Islam versus. It's looking like Islam versus Ian Gary in August in Philly. That's looking like
Right.
confirmed. Very scared for Islam's knees there. I think he's going to dominate Ian Gary. It's just you see what Ian Gary did to Shavkat. Shavkat hasn't literally had two surgeries on his knees since that fight. I don't know about that, man.
You know what, the funny thing is that I was a big Shavkat fan, and I
Oh, me
still
too.
am.
Yeah.
I like his approach to fighting, but my goodness, um, I'm not ready to go ahead and make the prediction. But I will say this: Islam better be ready.
Oh yeah.
This isn't going to be a walkthrough, so Islam better be ready because this is going to be one of those challenges that the guy's not going to go down without bringing something. So
Yeah, yeah. It's looking like Max Holloway is going to fight Conor McGregor. Is looking that way on International Fight Week. That's looking that way. I feel like Holloway McGregor is a good return fight for McGregor. Holloway going up to 170, neither of them cutting weight. I feel like that'll be a slugfest. I just think Max's speed is just going to be so much better, man. McGregor being out for so long, but I mean, I feel like that's the only compelling fight McGregor could come back to. It's more of a risk for Max than it is McGregor.
you're 100% right about it being more of a risk for Max. But what else was McGregor? You can't put him in with an immediate contender because he's been
Nah,
gone for so long. So and you also have to give him someone with name value, where there's a bit of risk and reward for each side. This is a fight. Realistically, either one of them can win. Max is going into uncharted territory with the weight.
hmm
McGregor has fought this weight before, so he's going to be the stronger. He's actually probably better suited for the type of fight it will be. but because he's been gone for so long,
You know
is
how ready he
Max
is.
going to be the
Yeah,
Max is going to be the better conditioned guy? It's this is kind of a pick 'em fight. I don't know what the odds are going to be, but right now I would think this is a bit more of a pick 'em than anything else.
yeah, they haven't officially said that, but it's looking that way according to Helwani. But the fight they did announce for International Fight Week that is confirmed is Paddy the Baddy Pimblett will fight Benoit Saint Denis. Banger fight. I think that's two styles that really match up really well. Both of them solid on the ground. Both of them solid strikers as well. That'll be fun to watch. Patty posted himself with a baguette and a French hat, and I thought that was funny. He's already ready for the press conference, man.
Before I make this comment, I've got to ask you: do you believe in Paddy Pimblett?
Oh, yeah, bro, I love Patty Pimblett. I think he's hilarious. I love the game, man. I had him over Gaethje just because of pure delusion for me being a fan, bro. I love that man. I think he can be a pretty solid. I think he's top five. I don't know how. I think he's fifth right now, and I don't think he gets over five. But I don't think he's. I think he's definitely above the like the 6 through 10 range in the
You know,
lightweight.
I get that he's entertaining. He can walk it. He can talk it. He's a bit of a showman. He's a really good fighter. He just has to show me that he's a championship level fighter. I don't doubt how good he is, but I need to know, can he take that step to becoming a title holder? Right now, I just don't see it. It's not to say he can't be. It's not to say he can't be. He definitely is well suited for what he does. But like I know, when you challenge for the gold, it's a different level of fighting. He has to show he belongs there.
For sure, for sure. Well, let's get into this. I think that's the news for. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I think that's mainly all the news that's going on fight announcement wise. Armin's just basically doing every RAF wrestling match he can get his hands on until he's fighting again. Uh, what is going to be entertaining to watch is that Hamzat versus Sean Strickland press conference next week. That'll be very entertaining. Keep
It's
your
all it's probably going to be the most entertaining setup to any fight happening this year.
for sure,
It's
for
it's
sure.
going to be it's going to be pure comedy. It's going to you're taking the seriousness of two guys who go over the top. So it's going to be trash talking, but done in a seriously fun way.
Yeah, Sean might get his mic cut off. Probably, I would. If you're taking bets on that, I would say Sean might get his mic pulled.
Did you
Um,
say might?
yeah, I mean they did it already before at his post-fight press conference, so it's not out of the question for him, you know.
It's
Anyway,
it's definitely going to happen at least once.
oh yeah, probably. Uh, our boy Southgate's gonna be here with the lines, giving us these fight breakdowns. Who's matching up with who? Southgate, why don't you
You
break
ready?
us up? Yes, sir. Let's get this party started, man. Is it? Yeah,
Hello?
yeah, yeah. We hear you, bro.
We got you, brother.
Is it gonna do that thing again where he can't hear us, but we can hear him? My man. All right. Well,
All right,
I
maybe he's just adjusting his headset.
yeah,
Should
I
be
do
with
know.
us in just a moment.
I do know the first fight. It is Don Marfan versus Cody Steele. That is the first fight on the card. That is the opener.
Okay.
Um, Cody Steele lost his last one to Rong Ju, got flown out to Australia. This is his second time fighting in Australia. He's a good all around fighter. He's got his base in jiu-jitsu, but he's kind of fell in love with his hands these last couple times. And he's a power striker for sure up close, but Don Marfan is a slick striker. He won road to UFC, won his match, got the contract over Sung Woo Kim, who was a Korean Navy SEAL equivalent in his last fight in Australia. Um, I'm gonna lean more with Sung Woo Kim, just or not. I'm gonna lean more with Dom Marfan, just because I think Sung Woo Kim and Cody Steele are a bit comparable. They're like on the same level to me, and Dom Marfan was able to out grapple the guy. Um, I like his. I think he's a crisp striker from the outside. Cody Steele's more like a boxer in close, jiu-jitsu on the ground, and Dom Marfan's more of the striker from range. Grappler when necessary. I think he can edge out a decision win, and him being the Australian guy, some of these Australian judges are not how you say the nicest when it comes to a foreigner coming through. They definitely do the hometown lean. So I'm gonna go with Don Marfan by decision here.
Whenever you have a hometown guy in the opening fight, it is to get that crowd riled up. It is to get them going, and that's what this fight is. Especially because you're dealing with a striker who's not known for inside fighting. That's not really a good combination. When you're a one-dimensional striker, you can get picked apart and you can get taken down. So I see this being a pretty much a one-sided fight.
Okay. See if our buddy Southgate's with Southgate. You back, bro? My man. Look like we were on the same on the first one. Um, I know the card. I just don't know the order. So if I can start just naming fights, but it might not be in order, folks. Forgive me. Our guy is having technical difficulties, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it. Um, I know one of the fights on the card. I know it's on the prelims as well. Is Ben Johnston versus Wes Schultz. Party time, Schultz. Wes Schultz got smoked in his last fight by Damian Pinos. Absolutely just obliterated. He looks like he does not want to take a punch. He's a really good grappler. Like he's a strong wrestler. That's a bit all he's got. He's fighting a guy out of Ben Johnson, who was he was a coach. He retired 2 years ago. He's back in the game now. Won a couple of Eternal MMA. He's a Muay Thai specialist. Um, he's a all around good striker. He's got some submission wins too. I would lean more towards Ben Johnston in this fight. Just I'm taking the ring rust because Wes Schultz doesn't like getting hit. And you're in there in a fight, bro. You're gonna get hit. I'm gonna go with Ben Johnston able to take Wes Schultz down, but Wes Schultz could. I see the path for Wes Schultz. I just don't see it being very likely. I'm going with Ben Johnston on this one.
Jimmy, you have no belief in Schultz whatsoever.
Not really, no.
And
Like
and
10% maybe.
and
I don't know.
and here's the thing. I'm not so sure that I disagree with you. The only but I all but here's the thing, and I think you can appreciate what I'm about to say. When somebody steps away from the UFC, they are rarely, if ever, the same person once they want to get back into fighting. It's
Mhm.
one thing. It's one thing if you have to step away from an injury. It's another thing if you retire from the sport. It is very, very hard to retire, then come back and perform at a certain at a and then at an elite level. That being said, this is not an elite level fight.
Very true.
So,
Very true.
so and it's no knock to the fighters, but it's just not considered an elite level fight. So that being said, you and I are going to go two for two in agreeing on this one. Um, I actually, I'm expecting this to be a quick fight.
Mm.
I
You
think he
think
will
Johnston gets him out of
completely.
there? Mm.
I think he completely starches this one. I don't think
Mm.
we make it out of the second round on this one.
He said the soy boy gets wilted, man. Dang. Wes Schultz is a vegan. He's a
You gotta,
this
you also gotta show me that you can withstand it.
yeah.
And out of the outings that I've seen him have, it's not that he hasn't at least shown he can fight. It's just I've seen him get overwhelmed, and I don't like to see people get overwhelmed in a fight.
No, I guess so.
It leaves a bad taste unless this is somebody that I've seen bounce back and I haven't necessarily seen it from him. So
Yeah, he hasn't really overcame adversity very much. Um, Next on the fight card, I think I jumped it. I think this is actually the number two fight. It's Jonathan McKelliff, excuse me, versus Timbo Garimbo. Um, yeah, this is an interesting fight. Timbo Garimbo, pressure wrestler, all right boxer. He's a mid-level UFC is what I would say. He's not top of the top. He's not the bottom of the bottom of guys, but he's not nothing special. On the other side, Jonathan McKelliff, he's got solid striking. He's a little bit slow on the feet compared to most in the weight class, but he's still got good hands. He can strike with most people. It's just I think what you'll see here is it's going to be a submission, but you just don't know by who. I would lean more towards McKelliff just because McKelliff has better wrestling chops in my opinion. He's got the jujitsu base, and normally the jujitsu outdoes the wrestling, but you just gotta stay away from your neck getting caught from Garimbo, and you should be good. So I'm gonna go with McKelliff by submission, but not
You're
very.
you're
I'm not too sure. I would.
you're going. You know what? You're going with the jujitsu specialist, and I'm going to go with the wrestling specialist. Now, let's be honest about this one. This fight is going to end up with one of two things happening. Either we're going to get a really boring ground fight, and I don't. Not talking about ground fights being boring because you have two guys on the ground just not doing. It's going to be two guys who are going to stalemate each other on the ground. That's
Mhm.
one option. The other is, and this sometimes happens, which makes it always makes me laugh, and it always leads to a great fight. You have two guys who respect each other enough on the ground that they tend to want to stand up and bang with each other. It's the strangest thing that happens in UFC, but you
Mhm.
get guys who both respect each other on the ground so much so that they oddly enough avoid the ground. And you
Which.
end up with two guys who end up standing and banging, which I believe there's a chance this may happen. It's not going to be a technical fight, but it just ends up in a brawl.
Mm.
Um, there is a chance this could happen. If that happens, I wouldn't be sure which way to go. Neither one of these guys is necessarily known as a knockout artist. However, I am secure in saying the wrestler can get takedowns and at least maintain dominating position to drag out a win.
Okay. Okay. I see it. I see it. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not really. I mean, that's just. Hey.
Yeah,
I'm just
this
trying to
is
remember
that
all these
wasn't
fights off the top of my
that.
head right now.
Yeah. I was gonna say that one pretty much is what it is fight.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I don't know the order anymore. The order's just so out of whack in my head. I know um Junior Tafa is fighting Kevin Christian on the prelims, and Kevin Christian is just 6'7" for no reason. He's tall. He's tall for nothing. He's he's got a good guard. That's it. And Junior Tafa should knock him out. If he go like the thing with Junior Tafa is he's elite boxer, a good striker, no ground game whatsoever. Kevin Christian is mid on the feet, and then on the ground he just got a nice guard with jujitsu. He doesn't do much out of it. He doesn't really pull. He just pulls guard, and that's it. He just kind of camps out on guard. So I'm gonna go with Junior Tafa by KO just because I don't know 6'7" for nothing. Like you could, hey man, I'm down here 5'8" trying to act tall, bro. You got too much height for no reason. You ain't doing nothing with it.
About give or take, about 10 years ago, might have been a little more than 10 years, there was a fighter in the UFC who fought at I think he fought at 170. I'm pretty sure he fought at 155 or 170, and he was about 6'6". And you would think that with that size, he would use it to his strength, use the jab, keep people at a distance, use your kicks. The fighter that I'm thinking of, his nickname was the Spider, not Anderson Silva, but there was another guy known as the Spider. And this guy did absolutely none of that. He would just clinch people all the time. And it would always frustrate me to watch him fight. And he was a decent fighter. Um, I think he won more than he lost, but he could never beat any of the top guys because he was completely too one-sided and predictable. That being said, that's what Christensen is. That's also when you have a significant height advantage and you don't use it to your advantage, you're not going to win a majority of certain when you definitely when you reach a certain level of competition. And I'm with you on this one. I don't know if we're going to see the knockout, but I do think that we'll see enough controlling action. At the very least, we're going to see a significant ground and pound if he's not able to get inside and land
No,
cleanly with a KO. So
see, that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid that he's going to knock him down and then jump on him, and then he's just going to get submitted because he has absolutely no ground game whatsoever. That's what I'm scared of. Tafo,
that's the
Tafo
fear of
can't
the
grapple with nobody.
you know what you I would imagine if he's able to land a shot on the inside, he would probably jump in to see if he can land it, and if he's smart, dip out.
Yeah, for
You
sure, for
know,
sure.
and the threat will always be there that if you dip in, you're not going to be able to get out, and you're not going to be able to land a significant punch on the ground and get yourself wrapped up. That always exists. But
Yeah,
taller people on the bottom, although they can do have longer limbs and would even on the ground reach you further, it takes a bit. They you have to leave yourself a bit more open because your arms are longer. So you
mhm,
leave yourself up. So if you're able to squeak through one of those cracks, you should be able to land a fist, land an elbow, as long as you know what you're doing. We'll see, but yeah, I see this as being pretty much a one-sided fight.
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Next up, we got Colby Thickness versus Vince Morales. This is a tough call, man. Thickness, City Kickboxing, Volk's protege. You know, got was in there with Ilya's brother, made it hard on short notice, fought a good hard 3 rounds, then had a decent performance against Musayas. It wasn't nothing crazy. I thought he would get him out of there by then, but it was, you know, optimal, I guess, but just not nothing wowing. And Vince versus Vince Morales on the other side, who's 0-3 in his last three. He took a year layoff. I'm not. But the thing is, Vince Morales is crafty, man. He's got a solid ground game. He does those neck chokes. Like he's got the anaconda, he's got the Dars, he's got the Gilly. Like he likes to grab your neck. So I don't know, but with the judges being in Australia, man, the fight being in Australia, Thickness supposed to be the prodigy. I think Thickness is a better striker all around on the feet. It's just as long as he takes care of himself on the ground, which City Kickboxing trains pretty well on the ground. They got good grapplers over there. He's got good coaching. I think we'll get a Thickness decision. That's what I'm seeing. I think the hometown boy gets a little hometown love by the judges' scorecards, and he makes it. It's a close fight, but I'm gonna give the lean towards the Australian here.
For those of you who follow us on a regular, you'll hear me say this quite often, at least once a card. Showcase fight. And that's what you're looking at in this one. Um, this is another fight where you have a promising hometown guy who's going to have the ability to show everyone what he's made of in a fight that he should win. This is a complete showcase fight to say this guy, if he wins, may be a guy to keep your eye on in the future. Um, Thickness should win this pretty convincingly. I think a stoppage is definitely in the cards for this one. Um, I if there is one fight that I would consider a lock, it would be this one.
Mm. He's locking Colby thickness, people. That's good value too. He's like only like I think he's around -120, -130 range. So he's a
I
slight
like
favorite.
I
Slight
like
favorite.
this fight. I just like this fight.
Okay, okay. Next we going into the feature prelim. I'm pretty sure I got everything else on the prelims. This is the only one I haven't mentioned. If I did mention one, check out Scrap Sheet MMA on Twitter. I will give my full picks on there, just the name and whether they're a dog or not. Um, but this is Cam Rouston, another city kickboxing protege. A lot of CKB, a lot of Australian guys in this card, and he is going up against Brandon Proshchik, the Polish power guy. Um, this is going to be an insane fight because Cam Ralston, like I said before, he's got a it's similar to the thickness thing. He's got a solid ground game. Like these Australians, they have a solid wrestling base, solid grappling base. But how this fight plays out is very scary to me. He was able to put out Cody Brundage in his last fight, and Cody Brundage has been able to give people real fits you know, in the division. So I'm a lean with Cam Rustin here. Cam Rustin's a slick striker from the outside. What worries me is Peroshchik up close. He's got that Polish power. The pocket is probably his green zone. So if Rustin can stick to the outside, stick and move, keep it at a distance, I'm which I think he can do. I'm picking him, but Pershchik can get this thing dirty and muck it up and get in close and make it could catch him, but I'm I'm gonna go with Rouston.
Um, just curious, do you know what the odds on this fight are?
They're close. They're close. I think it's around like minus one. I think Rouston's maybe like -180 to 200, and Proshchik is like +150.
Yeah, okay. That kind of coincides to what I'm generally believing may happen in this fight. Um, as opposed to some of the other fights where I was pretty certain that they were going to be action packed. I'm going to say this is going to be one of the slower fights of the evening, possibly an explosive first round, and then the guys getting. I can see these guys ending up against a cage, one guy basically leaning on the other, not too many openings happening. I'm going to go with the favorite here. I think he can neutralize the infighting just enough. My only concern would be this: should he be taken down um, and get rained upon?
Mm,
That could be bad. But otherwise, yeah, I think you got to go favorite in this fight.
I hear he's going with the hometown boy. I believe that's all for the prelims. JB, if you want to run the ads real quick before we break in the main card of this banger Perth card, man. You got JDM versus Prates coming up.
Yes, sir.
Or if he's not there, then I can keep running. I'll
The
run
Not
these
Move
little ads.
podcast is fueled by Dubby Energy. Smooth, jitter-free focus, and flavors that slap. Mango, berry, watermelon. Whatever gets you locked in, they've got it. Hit up Dubby.gg, use promo code NOTMOVED, and snag 10% off your order. Stay not moved, stay energized.
Number Friday nights, 9 Eastern. It's the Dribble, NBA edition on the Not Move podcast. We break down the week, the trades, the highlights, everything around the league. Tap in, chop it up with us, and get the takes that move the game forward. Stay not moved.
The Not Moved podcast drop is here. Snapbacks, hoodies, mugs, stickers, totes, everything you need to rep the convo everywhere you go. Limited run, unlimited style. Tap the link, fill the cart, and
Tap into the Not Move podcast every Friday night at 8 Eastern.
We're bringing the Scrap Sheet, UFC edition.
Every jab, every takedown, every headline.
All the fights, all the drama, all the picks, right here.
Watch live on YouTube or listen anywhere you get your podcast. Hit follow, hit subscribe.
And stay not moved.
Need some new Not Move drip? The In the Wickets hoodie just dropped. Super soft fleece, heavyweight feel, and the official NMP patch on the sleeve. Tap add to cart, check out, and let us handle the rest. In a couple days, it shows up at your door, ready to rock. Rep the podcast from the couch to the tip.
Every Thursday night, the Not Move podcast drops a new episode of
In the Wickets,
our deep dive on everything around the NHL.
We break down the plays, the trades, the stats, and the stories that matter.
Plus, a few hot takes along the way.
Join us live at 8 p.m. Eastern, or catch it on your favorite podcast app right after.
Same energy, same on.
Tuesday nights just got louder. Ringside Rewind is live every week, 9 Eastern.
We're breaking down Raw, SmackDown, and everything leading into the weekend. If it happens between the ropes, we're talking about it.
Deep dives, hot takes, and a few surprise
And
replays.
a whole lot of arguing.
Yeah, but the good kind.
Ringside
Oh, the Orphan Elimination Chamber tee just dropped. Fresh out the box. Look at this.
That print is nasty. Chain link O, silver hit. It's tough.
It's soft too, y'all. Fits right. Little drip for the Elimination Chamber weekend.
We rocking these all season.
If you're part of the Not Move fam, you already know.
Jump on it before it's
Grab
gone.
yours now at Not Move Shop.
Episode of the Not Move podcast is brought to you by the MLB Shop. They have every team's gear, from classic caps to World Baseball Classic hoodies, all official and all ready for game day. Tap the link in our bio to head straight to the shop and snag your favorite merch.
The drop is here. NMP gear built for everyday and game day. Hoodies, mugs, and the Coach Common jersey in bold gold. Rep the movement. Feel the energy. Shop new arrivals.
If you're craving baseball talk that doesn't flinch, tap in with us Monday nights at 8 Eastern.
It's the Rusty Mitt MLB edition of the Not Move podcast. Breakdowns, debates, all the swings and misses without the fake fluff.
Join us live or catch the replay wherever you get your pods. Rusty Mitt, not moved. Stay not moved.
Attention Not Move Nation. Our first ever jersey has landed. The NMP by JB Sport Talk collab brings premium mesh, bold gold accents, and that undeniable game day energy. Plus, hoodie drops.
Today's episode of Not Moved is brought to you by Open Goal, the world's #1 backyard goal. If you love soccer but hate chasing balls into the neighbor's yard, this thing is a game changer. Its rebound net sends missed shots right back to you, and the side nets keep your landscaping and your windows safe. It's perfect for kids, for training, or just having fun.
Today's episode of the Not Move podcast is brought to you by Walmart.com. With our storefront in the Walmart app, you can get everything you need, pick up or have it delivered.
We ordered dinner while recording and it showed up before we wrapped.
Better Goods sweet corn and burrata ravioli.
Dairy protein drinks, even St. Patrick's Day treats.
Walmart.com.
Not Move, fam. Southgate edition just landed and it's fire. Check the tee, watch out for the skis and the wickets. Hockey stick, cricket wickets, all vibes. We got hoodies, mugs, caps, beanies, whatever you need. Cop yours before they...
At the Not Move podcast, just drop the gear.
Heavyweight hoodies, premium cotton, street ready.
Caps, mugs, and more. Every detail on point.
Whether you're hooping, tailgating, or just repping the pod, NMP fits the culture.
Limited drops. When they're gone, they're gone.
Cop yours today at notmoveshop.fourthwall.com.
Oh, well, I guess he's not here.
No worries. Yes, sir.
Oh, you hear me? Was the ad still running on your end?
Yeah,
Oh,
it just finished.
okay. I looked at went out of the app to check the rest of the card to make sure I got everything.
All right.
Was I talking on your end or no? Was I?
Nah. All I
Okay,
heard was
cool.
the ad.
All right, cool. I was just making sure I didn't mess up the video. So let me run this back again. Tai Tuivasa, baby, bam, bam, has returned.
Yes, sir.
On a 6-fight losing streak. But regardless of that, he looked alive against Taliesin Teixeira. He's fought obesity. You know, my one worry was he was on the scale and he still had his shirt on, but you know, he didn't look. You know, the physique isn't really there for the heavyweights, man. You're not looking at a heavyweight's physique to determine the fight. You're looking at their heart. And Tai Tuivasa showed in his last fight that he still has heart. He gave Taliesin Teixeira 3 hard rounds. My one worry in this fight is that Louis Sutherland can spam takedowns and hold control time. But if this fight stays on the feet, I think Tai Tuivasa has the more powerful punches. I think he has the death touch. He can put Sutherland out. I think he's the faster fighter, which is sad to say because Tai Tuivasa, this date and time, is not the fastest of guys. But I'm gonna go with Bam Bam. I think we see a Shui in the return to Australia, man. And you know, I hope he retires. I say that not because I don't want his career to continue. I just want him to go out on a high note, and I don't think there's that many guys that he can beat that's coming up, man. So I like Ty. I like the story. At one point in time, he knocked out Derek Lewis. He was at the top of the weight class, and then we've just seen him just go down. And I don't want to see that anymore. I want to remember the Bam Bam that was, not the Bam Bam that you know. I don't want him to get beat out of the sport. You know what I mean?
Jimmy, Ty will always be a UFC favorite in front of any crowd. Wherever he goes, the UFC crowd loves this guy. He's a bit nutty, but he's a warrior. You know when he gets in the cage, there's going to be a fight. There will always be a win, lose, or draw. He's coming to fight. That being said, the man is completely one-dimensional. He relies on just trying to slug with you. If he cannot slug with you, he can be picked apart. He can leave himself open. He's never been a technical guy. He just relies on pure brute impact. That is it. Nothing has ever evolved with his style. However, when you fight in front of, is he actually Australian or is he an Islander and this is considered a home fight? He
Yeah,
isn't. Okay.
he's from there. He's
Okay.
He's Samoan roots, but he's from there.
He is. Okay. So we're going to say this is a home fight. Does the UFC know something about assigning this fight to him? Because the crowd is going to be so hyped up for this. But I wonder if he has it in him anymore. Jimmy, I honestly don't know who's going to win this fight. I know that I'm pulling for him. I know I want him to win. But if I were to ask you this, what have you seen in his past few outings other than a want to still be able to fight? Have you seen from him that dictates this man is still a quality fighter?
That he didn't quit against Taliesin Teixeira, who was kind of styling on him at one point. He was still in there. Louis Sutherland, he's been beaten in his last couple fights. He hasn't really done anything to wow me. And what worries me though is if Louis might loses this one, he's fighting for his job. So that is the one worry here. Louis fighting for his job. Ty's fighting for the people. So that's just kind of how this fight plays out. So I'm taking the hometown guy, but I'm very concerned with this.
There are some fights I like and some that I don't. I don't like this fight. I don't. This is one of those fights where, the home guy could win, get caught up in the emotion or winning, or the emotion could take him out early, have him, pardon the expression, but shoot his load and then gas out.
Yeah.
And for a guy who's not known for cardio, if you gas out, what do you have?
Yeah,
I don't like. I gotta tell you, I don't like this fight either way. I guess if I had to take $1 and go with somebody on it, I'm going to go with the story and say this will be a good career ender for Ty.
Hey, okay. He has favorite status. I think he's a slight favorite from what I've seen. Next up, another heavyweight bout. We got Brando Parashik, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, versus Shamil Gaziev, the Dagestani brawler. Shamil Gaziev wanted to box with Waldo and did, and got shown why you shouldn't do that. But he has a pretty quick right hand, more deceptive than I thought he had. But he's not going to beat Parashik is just going to take his leg and kick it until he's on the ground, bro. Parashik is faster by miles. He has a faster striker. He's going to keep it on the outside and then blitz in. And I think Parashik is probably going to knock him out, but you're not going to get any favors with the knockout price. Money line is just the safe play. I'm going Parashik all the way. He's not just because Shamil Gaziev, he's a Russian. He's not one of the ones carrying those gyms, man. He's just a guy there. So I'm going with Parashik. Slick striking, good kicks, all around dominance from the boy.
There's a reason we're seeing Parashik on this on the main card here. It's time that I believe the UFC is trying to showcase him on this card. If he wins this and looks impressive, you will see him in some action-packed fights, or you'll see him higher on the card. And I I wouldn't be surprised to see him enter the contendership status. I
Mhm.
really wouldn't.
He might be
That
like,
being said,
yeah.
yeah, that being said, let's admit there is no shame in being knocked out by Waldo. Waldo is a legit fighter. Like he is a legit contender. There's no shame in losing to him. There's no shame in the fact that you're going to lose this fight either. Um, yeah, this is a showcase fight. I'm expecting a stoppage in this fight. I'm not sure how if it's going to come via standing and banging or being down taken down and just grounded out. But I see this being a one-sided showcase fight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, there's two more fights before the co-main and the main event. Some books have one before the other, some of them don't. So I'm just gonna go with the order that I had seen. Um, Next is Tim Elliott, veteran of the game, versus Steve Astro Boy Urseg, baby. Um, I like Steve Ursig. At one point in time, he gave Pantoja one of his hardest fights, and then he got knocked out by Kai Kara France, and he was able to win his next one. Then gave Odo Osborne a good fight up a weight class. I'm not ready to give up on Steve Ursig, man. He grown his beard out. He doesn't look like a little kid anymore. Um, Tim Elliott, incredible grappler, but I think Steve Ursig is a really good grappler himself in his own right. And what gets Steve Ursig is consequent strikers of consequence. Tim Elliott has three knockouts in his whole career. His whole and he's been in the game for a long time. Steve Erceg doesn't have
Yes.
to worry about Tim Elliott's hands. I believe Steve Erceg can mix it up and uh get a win here. I think he's gonna get back on his grind and get a pull one out just because I don't know. I don't like how people just kind of write him off. This is the biggest underdog, or was one of the biggest underdogs on the card. It got bet down so much because a lot of people like Tim Elliott in this spot, and I'm just not seeing it, man. I like Steve Erceg. I think he's an all around better fighter. Tim Elliott, just because he was able to submit Kai Asakura, who had no chance grappling with him. But Kai Asakura is not Steve Erceg. Kai Asakura has consequence on the feet, you know, and no grant. I'm talking too much. You go.
Jimmy, I got to tell you, I absolutely love how you put this one together. You really framed why your guy should win this. And the key is I said your guy because Tim Elliott is going to win this fight.
Mm.
I understand why you're not going to go with Tim Elliott. He's not exactly a flashy guy. He's more of a workman guy. All of his wins pretty much look the same. He's either gonna just maul you up against the cage and make an ugly fight just by control. In fact, that's how he wins fights. He wins by just controlling action. Whether he pushes you up against the cage and just puts you in a defensive position and just wails away on you, or he gets on top and does just enough to control the action. Nothing spectacular, just a lunch pail kind of guy, and I think that's what's going to happen in this fight. I think Tim Elliott just has too much experience and will do enough to control the fight.
It's very fair, very fair. We only disagreed on two, so it's pretty good up until for the most part up until we've seen things the same way. Um, but that's a toss-up fight. A lot of people are on Tim Elliott for the same reason. I'm just on the one. I'm just on the Astro Boy. Uh,
Fair enough.
this next one is a slaughter waiting to be set up. These next two actually are slaughters waiting to happen. Marwan Rahiki is fighting Ollie Schmidt. Who? Ollie Schmidt. This guy 4-2 in his pro career. I think he was like 8-3 in amateur or something. Over there on the Australian scene. Rahiki was supposed to fight Jack Jenkins. That would have been a banger fight. Schmidt comes on short notice to fill in. My one worry with Rahiki is he throws caution to the wind and doesn't care if he gets hit. So Ollie Schmidt does have a puncher's chance, but Rahiki's gonna pour on the onslaught and probably knock this kid out. If I that's what I'm saying is gonna happen. He's like a minus 700, minus 500. Oh shoot,
Am
I did miss one fight. Crap.
we can go back to that in just a second, but am I wrong for rooting for Schmidt? Am I
No,
wrong for rooting for him?
no, I don't think you're wrong.
I have this thing that I like. I have a tendency to want to root for guys that are huge underdogs, just because I want to see them at the very least make a good showing. Whether they'll win or not is negligible. I want these guys to show that, hey, if you're being so counted out, go in there and make a good account of yourself. So much so that at win, lose, or draw, the crowd will at least respect the effort you gave.
I hear
You know, that being said,
you.
yeah, this seems like it's going to be a one-sided pounding. I have to be honest, I am not too familiar with Schmidt. I have not seen Schmidt fight before. I do not know much about Schmidt. It
Oh
just
man.
seems that when you step in the last minute as a fighter that I don't know, it there's got to be a reason for it. So
Yeah.
this has turned from what would have been an excellent showdown into kind of a okay, crowd. We're gonna give you guys. We're gonna give the crowd a entertaining lamb to the slaughter situation. So
Yeah. um the fight I forgot about that I got reminded of because I was like, I think Rahiki is the biggest favorite on the card, and I was like, actually, no, the biggest favorite on the card is on the prelims, and that is Jacob Malkoon versus Gerald Mearshart. Jacob Malkoon is minus 1,000. I
yeah,
think he's up was minus 1,200 at one point. Might be. I missed this fight. I forgot it. I apologize. Gerald Mearshart's 39 years old. He's gotten the crap kicked out of him in his last four fights. I think you'll see Jacob Malkoon, finish the job, just like what was going to happen or what has happened in his previous fights. It's going to be Malcolm inside the distance, probably within the first round. That I forgot it. It wasn't. You don't really get much of a breakdown because this isn't the GM3 of the past where third round. Wait for him, man. He's durable. He's gonna catch you. No, no. GM3 is 39. He's lost his last four. He's uh just been in the game for so long. He's wearing everything now. He's washed.
this might be the UFC saying to him, "You wanted one more fight? Show us something, or it's over." Or they just said, "Hey, you know what? This is going to be it. Put your best out there." He said, "Who am I fighting?" They told him, and he said, "Oh crap." But you know what? Props on him taking a fight. I think we pretty much know what this is. It's just a one-sided fight. There's really not much to diagnose. It's not to say that the underdog doesn't stand a chance. All underdogs stand a chance. But yeah, just not looking good in this one.
Yes, sir. And that does it with the prelims. Now we're on to the co-main. I think I got everything up until this point. Forgive me if I missed one. Like I said earlier, check Scrap Sheet MMA on Twitter for the full picks and the full plays as I tweet out my best bets. You already heard my boy Zip's best bet of Colby Thickness. Watch out. I might use that. I might steal that. um, Co-main event. Benil Dariush, the UFC vet, is now a lamb to slaughter as Quillen Salkild is going to take his freaking head off, man. Freaking this guy absolutely smoked Hasparat out of his shoes last time. You know, they have that clip. John Anik is like, his mom was a baker. Bow. You know, or his family owns a bakery and is talking about Nazareth and he just got his head freaking kicked off. This is a showcase spot for Quillen. He's got a strong uh, striking game, man. He's quick with the strikes. Renaud Dariush in his last couple fights has been put down by any and everybody. Moicano's had him down, and a couple of the other guys have set him down. Where it gets tricky is if Dariush can weather the storm and grapple with him a bit. That could leave it up for that could cause some pause, but I think Quillen's equipped enough on the ground to deal with Dariush's and probably take him out. You know, I felt bad for Dariush because this was supposed to be Dariush was supposed to fight Manuel Torres and probably get knocked out there, and now he's being the setup guy for another uh guy on the rise, just getting set up to get smoked again. So Quillen's out kill KO.
Jimmy has no belief in Dariush anymore. Um, and maybe for good reason in this fight. Again, you got a hot shot who comes along who starts starching people. You put him in there with a veteran who a very qualified veteran in Dariush. But Dariush has significant holes in his game as it occurs to the matchup of this fight. You and I are looking at the same outcome of this one. I just wonder if Dariush reaches back in time and has a really good showing. Because I can see him pulling out a fight if he's able to consistently get takedowns. That is a huge if that I'm asking from a guy where he is capable of getting takedowns. However, takedowns and control is not something that he's been known to get away from that during fights. It's not always been in each one of his game plans. So I don't know how committed to doing that he would be, even in the face of a guy who has a standing advantage. I don't know. Did you say this is going to be a stoppage? Do you see this one being a stoppage?
Yeah, I think Quillen Salkill's gonna take his head off, man.
Part of me wants to give Dariush the benefit of the doubt and say he crawls to the bell, but I don't know. I don't see him getting the win. I just don't know if he makes it to the bell or not. I don't know if he makes it to the last bell. I think there's a chance he might, but I'm just not convinced that he can be stopped. I do think it'll be a pretty much one-sided.
Yes, sir. All right. And the main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, the fighting nerd, Carlos the Nightmare Prates, goes up against the hometown hero, Jack Della Maddalena. And I'm not on the hype. I'm on JDM. I like JDM. JDM's younger. I know Prates is a power Muay Thai striker. He's got crazy good sniping strikes from outside, and up close he's got that jump knee and the knee up close. But JDM's boxing, man, is just so crisp. The way he pressures forward, the way he switches stances, well, seemingly at ease, just mixing up the flow, never knowing which way he's going to come at you. And you go back and you watch that Ian Gary fight. Ian Gary has about the same reach as about the same reach as JDM, sorry. And Prates wasn't able to outland him, man. Like Prates has the reach advantage, but he doesn't use it. And I get he has that stop like death touch that he can put you out at any time. But I don't know, man. JDM can mix it up so well, and then the grappling aspect too. Like he can get in a takedown. I know they train somewhat of jiu-jitsu over there at the Fighting Nerds. Like Kyle Barajo has a really strong jiu-jitsu base, but they're all typically mainly strikers, man. And when this gets into the later rounds, like I think I can see the party boy gassing, man. This guy comes out to hate being sober, and that's what he does, man. He smokes, he drinks, he's a party man. Like I like the guy. He's a cool guy. He's just I don't know if you're gonna get there at the top of the division doing all that stuff, man. I think this is a spot where JDM's first title defense was Islam Makhachev, man. How many people are gonna beat Islam Makhachev? Like that's a tall task to come up against in your first title defense. I feel like JDM's going to solidify his spot in the top three in the division, and I feel like he's going to come out with a win, surprise some people, maybe even knock him out. I could see knock him out if my plays hit right. Like I got a couple plays down already that seclude the main event, and if I cash on some of those, I'm going to be putting some money on JDM by KO. You bet your bottom dollar.
Jimmy, I've got to ask you a question before I get into this. Do you believe Carlos is an elite level championship fighter?
I think he can be. I think he's an elite level striker. Championship level, I'm not too sure. I think he's always in the
All right,
contender range.
let's not consider the person that's holding the title right now. Just do you see him as somebody who could hold gold?
Yeah, I could see him holding. I think a lot of these
Okay.
fighting nerd guys can, to be honest.
Okay. The reason that I ask that is because I agree. I believe he is somebody who can hold gold. And I do believe that this is not just an ordinary fight. I believe this fight right here may be setting up possibly the next contender for the title. This may be an number one contendership fight, or to determine who's going to be next, because they're both, in my opinion, both of these guys with a good showing would be worthy of that. I have got to tell you, I know that JDM has got the crowd. He's a former champ. Everything seems to, I'm not sure of the odds, but it seems that it's kind of stacked for him.
I think I think last time I looked, JDM was minus 105. Prates was minus 122. Like he's a slight dog. JDM's a slight underdog here.
Okay, if they're both minus, it's a pick 'em. Basically,
Yeah,
a pick
pretty
'em.
much, yeah.
I've got to tell you, I believe that Prates is going to show us the best version of him in this fight. I like JDM. I just believe stylistically, I believe Prates somehow comes away with this victory. I don't like going with hometown guys for a home card. I just don't. Usually in the main event is usually where you see it show up the most. They'll rally behind the guy. They'll pump him up at the right moment. I think Prates. I'm not going to, you know what? I'm thinking that Prates actually connects midway through the rounds here and puts him on wobbly street. I think Prates may actually somehow end this fight. I don't think it'll be. I'm not going to guarantee that he does. I wouldn't even put I wouldn't put a penny on a stoppage, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does. As a matter of fact, I'm going Prates on this.
There you go. There you go, man. Hey, it's anyone's game. I just went with the younger fighter.
Understood. There's a lot. There are very valid reasons to go with Jack Della Maddalena on this. There's very valid reason to go ahead and do that. I just tend to believe that Carlos knows what this is for him. I mean, JDM does too, but Carlos knows that right now it's within his reach to get a title shot. A loss is more of a setback for him than it is JDM.
No, for sure. I just saw what put me off of Prates is I saw his weight cut video. He had to cut 10 pounds in 2 hours, bro. He looked deadbeat tired. I was like, ooh, that does not look good.
I don't like that. I don't know. I didn't know that, and I don't like that. It's not going to sway my opinion, but I don't like that at all.
I hear you. Well, I think that's it for us. I think I'm going to try to do the scrap sheet for next week's card a little earlier, probably on like a Thursday, just because my birthday's that Friday. I'm probably not
Hey,
going to
well, you
be
know what? An
coherent.
early happy birthday to you, and please let it be known that the following card, ladies and gentlemen, is a banger,
Banger, May
an
9th. So watch out.
absolute banger of a card.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So watch out for the scrap sheet. Probably early episode, maybe after In the Wickets, the hockey show. Shout out to those guys.
Yes,
They're
sir.
killing it. We got the dribble coming up next, breaking down all the basketball stuff. So yeah, check out Not Move Podcast, Scrap Sheet. If you're a psychopath, and I'm gonna be live tweeting the entire card. So if you're up at 4 in the morning like me, I'll be here on Twitter, Scrap Sheet MMA. And see you next time. Peace out.
Hey, as always, a pleasure. Thank you, Jimmy.
Yes, sir, my man.
This non-casual podcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or reused without the authorized written consent of the Not Move Podcast Network. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.